Don't let your kids watch it!
Hey, how's it going? So, to some of my more seasoned viewers out there, you may be familiar with the term ElsaGate, which is something that was going around on YouTube around the years of, I want to say, 2016 to 2017, where a bunch of videos were coming out aimed towards children that weren't children-friendly at all. And in these videos, it would usually feature characters such as like Elsa, which the term was coined after, of course, and then Spider-Man, or Mickey Mouse, or SpongeBob, or any of these other children's characters. They'd be like put together into these weird scenarios where they'd be put into compromising sexual positions, or where they'd be getting stuck with needles, or they'd be pissing everywhere, or they'd be shitting everywhere, or God knows what else. And sometimes it would either be animated or it would be live action with people dressing up and doing these things as these kids' characters. And the problem with this content was, like, as I said, it was aimed towards kids despite not being kid-friendly at all. It showed up on the YouTube Kids app, and a bunch of kids ended up seeing that stuff, and of course it's really messed up. But for a time, I and many others thought that ElsaGate was over because Disney, I think it was, had stepped in, and I'm pretty sure they made YouTube remove a lot of the videos featuring Mickey Mouse.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
But you see, what the problem is that now it's pretty much come back. It's back with different characters. It's like it's season 2 of ElsaGate, and that's what we're going to be getting into today. So I've got to warn you, if you find all this sort of sexual content disturbing in any way, then feel free to click out, because this isn't the video for you. Now, the first channel that we're going to be covering is this one by the name of Sam Toons, where they make videos such as this one, where Huggy Wuggy is dying from a presumably terminal illness, this one where Sonic the Hedgehog gets run over and dies, or this one where, again, Huggy Wuggy goes and tries to cheat on his wife with Glamrock Chica from Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, if you don't know who Huggy Wuggy is, by the way, he's this character from this video game called Poppy Playtime. Really popular with kids. And just like the first wave of ElsaGate, that's what is going on with this new one. It's using characters from Roblox, or from Poppy Playtime, or Friday Night Funkin', or Five Nights at Freddy's, or Sonic the Hedgehog. And it's putting them into these situations. There's also this other one from Paw Patrol that I saw. There's actually 2 of them, where the characters seem to be in a zombie apocalypse scenario. In one of them, 2 of the characters are already dead, and in the second one of the characters seems to be dying actively throughout the video. Now, I didn't watch most of these except the one where Huggy Wuggy died, and I can confirm that he does actually die in the video. It's not clickbait. He dies in the first 30 seconds or something, and then his wife goes and, according to the video, months later goes and off and marries this character from Friday Night Funkin', and it's really just brain rot. It's portable brain rot. And for the record, something that I forgot to mention is that I used a brand new account that was in restricted mode, meaning that it shouldn't allow adult content. I want you to keep that in mind as we go further into the video, but I also want to note that this was accessible so easily that I found it on the main page of YouTube as soon as I signed in. Alright, on to our next one. Now, for this next one, all I did was look up one thing that I thought a kid might actually want to look up, and that is real-life Minecraft. Now, I'm not sure why exactly I chose to look up that specifically, but it led to mostly just videos where the thumbnail was either cropped porn or it was a really suggestive thumbnail where it featured characters from Minecraft in super compromising positions, such as this one, which I'm gonna have to censor, or this one, which I'm gonna have to censor. It's really, again, disturbing that By just looking up that simple term in, again, a restricted account, that means that no adult content should be seeping in, or at least very little adult content, because I recognize that YouTube is a very large platform, that they can't be monitoring every single video that gets put onto their site. But the fact that most of the results for something that I would assume many kids would probably look up for, you know, whatever reason, and most of it is like porn and stuff, it's pretty concerning. Even if the video content itself is fine, the thumbnail art is definitely not. And next I looked up Roblox Piggy, which is a video game on, again, Roblox, that seems to be really popular with kids nowadays. I've even seen products of it in Walmart. And luckily for that, most of the results were perfectly fine, perfectly normal, but one caught my eye, and it wasn't even about Roblox Piggy. It was about this other character called Pibby from an Adult Swim commercial or bumper or whatever that apparently kids know of now. I'm not sure, but in this thumbnail she appears to be completely naked while two other characters are lusting over her. Now, I'm gonna have to censor most of this thumbnail, but take my word for it. But the next thing I looked up was a bunch of kids characters. I looked up Roblox Piggy, Huggy Wuggy, Rainbow Friends, all put together. And what I found was Friday Night Funkin' GF Cheats BF FNF mod. And the thumbnail, if the title wasn't enough, is this, for Christ's sakes. Now, it's not very graphic at all, but if you know what's happening there, you certainly wouldn't want your kid to be looking at that, would you? It's some pretty deplorable stuff. I'm sure that if I kept looking up more and more kids-related terms, I would have gotten more and more degenerate things. But I just thought that that is enough to just showcase how bad it's getting. And I had to scroll for each of them less than 30 seconds. For the one about Piggy, all I had to do was scroll for like 30 seconds and I found that. And I think that's pretty bad, don't you? But regardless, let's move on to the next one. Now, if the last one was bad, this one is even worse. Because this channel by the name of True FNF, FNF being Friday Night Funkin', is a channel of which the thumbnails often feature characters in the actual act of doing it. And unlike the Minecraft ones that I showed previously that showed cropped images, this actually shows it happening. And I clicked one of the videos here, Sonic kills Rouge, Rouge the Bat in Friday Night Funkin' Be Like, which makes no grammatical sense, but that's how most of the thumbnail titles are formatted. And in this video here, it's featuring Sonic the Hedgehog coming in and, as the title suggests, killing Rouge the Bat and then proceeding to do things to Knuckles the Echidna. I'm sure kids would definitely be okay mentally after seeing that happen to their favorite characters, right? I don't think they even understand what it is that would be happening, but they certainly wouldn't like it. And this channel also features one video where the thumbnail is Sonic getting caught jerking off to, as the screen says, boobs. Now, I don't know of any adults that would be watching this on YouTube in their spare time, but I'll tell you who would be watching this on YouTube in their spare time that shouldn't be. Kids. Because again, this content is too stupid for any adult to watch, and it's, you know, right there, perfectly accessible for kids, and I have to keep stressing in each and every entry of this that I'm using restricted mode. And it's still seeping in mass quantities. But next, I'm gonna show you something that is the most deplorable out of all this. And it's not particularly fetishy, it's just straight up porn. Now, some of you may be familiar with the kids cartoon from the 90s, Hey Arnold, which you know, although nowadays it's not the most popular thing in the world, because again, it's a cartoon from the 90s, but it's having a sort of resurgence, and not for the best reason. If you look up Hey Arnold full episodes, yeah, and then scroll through the playlists, it won't be long before you find playlists that are full of actual live action porn. And it's not hardcore porn, for as much as I didn't really dig the deepest into it, but on the surface level, it's mostly just softcore porn, such as one playlist where the first video was of a woman in a bikini getting oil poured on her or whatever, and, you know, by the end of it, it's a wet swimsuit. You know, you could assume what you could see through it. But the bigger problem arises where, you know, of course YouTube may not have been able to detect the nudity in that video, since again it's covered up, although very slightly, but it's covered by a swimsuit that a bot might not be able to see that. But in the embedded links at the end of the video, it showed 4 different thumbnails where all of them featured actual bare nudity. And it wasn't covered by anything up at all. It was just videos of women fondling their own breasts for the camera. And that, I have no idea why YouTube hasn't taken down. Because although YouTube has notoriously in the past permitted nudity on YouTube for educational purposes, such as with the nude yoga rabbit hole, that if you look up nude yoga, you'll see actual naked people doing yoga, but that's like an actual practice apparently, so YouTube permits it. But that has no educational purpose in the slightest. I couldn't see any sort of merit to it. It was just softcore porn. And I'm not sure how YouTube has not yet detected it with their bots, or, you know, with anything at all, because the videos also have a pretty decent amount of views, because recently this Hey Arnold full episode playlist thing has been getting a lot of attention. Somehow it hasn't been taken down at all. And by the way, it's worth noting that these videos are all too short. They're usually like a second long, which, if you know anything about YouTube, means that they're too short to even run advertisements on, which means that no one is turning a profit from this. They're just doing it to post porn on YouTube, and then presumably in the hopes that it gets shown to kids, because why else would you put it on something by the name of Hey Arnold full episode playlist? And again, I would like to reiterate that it's in restricted mode, where this type of stuff is absolutely not supposed to be getting shown. But here we are. And here is the part where I advise you, if you have small siblings or nephews or even kids, check up on them. Don't just leave them alone with your phone or with an iPad or with anything. Don't let YouTube or Google or any of these corporations that they may be watching videos on, don't let them do the babysitting, because it's not working. You have to actually sit there, watch with them, to make sure that they don't stumble across things like this. Because this is a really, really serious thing. Imagine you, if you were a parent, you walk in on your 5-year-old watching videos of women fondling their breasts. Of course, the kid doesn't know what's going on. It's not their fault. It's just that YouTube was on autoplay and it somehow ended up there. Now, that's a really alarming thing, and I think it's about time that YouTube puts a stop to it already. And yeah. If you want to do your own research, I more than welcome you to. There are more well-researched videos than mine out there on the internet. It only took me like 5 minutes to find everything in this video, which goes to show how bad it's getting. With that aside, I'll see you around.